Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. It's Friday. Today is Friday, and it is build day 22. Yes, build day 22 here on the construction schedule for the pool build in the backyard of Villa Feliz. This morning, the guys came right on time. They've already started. I think they're setting a priority to make sure they get as much done as quick as possible, but done it right, but done correctly, in preparation for a possibility of maybe a couple of days of non-building. Because as you know, we have this huge typhoon that I just saw the alert on it this morning that says it is up to a signal 4, category 4 typhoon, hurricane in the U.S. With the naming, but it is at a category 4, signal 4 right now, out to sea, 2 days away. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into today's episode. Well, let's get today's episode started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, anyway, we don't go grocery shopping anymore because we have the grocery shopping come to us. So Ness, she has this network that she connects to. When I say network, there are many different type of food companies nowadays because of the pandemic that are taking advantage of the opportunity to be able to expand their business as well as bring food to you. It helps their businesses and helps people like us who are trying to stay away from the population and try to be safer at home. Let's ask a few questions, see where these guys are actually from. So anyway, where are you guys located? Where are you based out of?
Ano po, Lipa.
Lipa.
They get their items from the fresh market.
On the fresh market.
So I have vegetables here and fruits.
Yeah, so Ness, she's able to, these are local, and this helps the local economy here. And also, sometimes when there are specialty type items, they will deliver as far as from Manila. They come from Paranaque and they deliver things from there as well. So it's actually a great way to avoid having to go out and do shopping on your own and stay home and stay safe if you can do that. All right, now that we got our early morning delivery of groceries out of the way, let's go back here and take a look and see where the guys have started already. We kind of left off from yesterday, so if you watched yesterday's episode, and I hope you did, I hope you're watching every one of the episode builds here because it details in specifics about each phase of building a swimming pool in the Philippines, which is not highly different from doing it in other places around the world, except for the main thing is concrete is king here. Let's look inside the pool and see where we're at. So as we closed yesterday's episode, they had the plaster coat being done around this section, the 5-inch and the 10-inch section of the swimming pool. They just removed the rebar. Remember, there was rebar that was lining the edge here that is used as a guide for levelness so that they have a perfectly vertical wall when they get ready to put their tiles on later. They marked it using the guide of the rebar that they since removed this morning, and now they're doing the fill-in. They'll do the full fill-in of all this area. So the area that you see in the deep section, the 5-foot and the 4-foot section, that looks real nice. The wall is nice and flat. This will look like that sometime today. Now, for those of you who have been around the Philippines, you know what that hose is right there. That is the method, the preferred method here to do leveling. They have some water inside there. You can see the top of the water line, and they use that to make sure that you have perfect levelness, which is really important for a pool build. That's important for a house build. It's important for a pool build, and it has to do with making sure that the water is at the same level underneath the coping around the entire swimming pool. You wouldn't want water higher in one end than the others. So that's what they're doing right now. So as I've been doing every day here, I'm going to set up the time-lapse video. We'll do some time-lapse video. Well, I'm going to set up as soon as I get the battery charged. I failed you again today. I didn't charge the battery. There's so many things on my mind, especially with this typhoon that's getting ready to come through. Oh, I'm going to set up the time. We'll go ahead and we'll record what these guys are doing back here. And if there's any event that they do inside there that I feel I need to discuss and explain, or have them explain to me so I can explain to you, I'll do that with this camera right here while the time lapse is going. But talking about the typhoon, the update on the typhoon. The typhoon that is headed our way, that is supposed to hit here in, I don't know what time of the day, sometime on Sunday. I know it's on Sunday. The original track had it going directly through this area again, just as the last one came through. But as time has gone, they've done corrections to the tracking. Now the tracking is slowly moving north at this point. So the predicted track is, for the center of this typhoon, is predicted as of today. This is Friday. Anything can change between now and Sunday. But right now it is between Manila and Angeles City is where the center of the tracking. Now for a typhoon of that magnitude right now, which is a Cat 4 or a Signal 4, for us down here, we would still feel the effects of probably a Cat 4, Signal 4, or 3, maybe lessen, but we're going to feel a lot of it, and we're on the outer skirts of that. So no matter what, it's going to be a big event. So that's why, one of the reasons why I forgot to charge the battery last night. We were thinking, should we be doing in preparation? But what I wanted to get to was, I want to thank, there are special people, and all of you are special, and we thank you for all your concern from all the videos about, even when the generator went, your concerns that our generator went out. But there are a lot of people who need more prayers than we do, that have less as far as shelter stability. And I urge everybody, when we have events like this, to please send those prayers out to all of the people here in the Philippines and around the world who are in need and who are suffering, and when we have these cataclysmic events that go through here. But what I wanted to say this morning was, it was funny this morning, because our subscriber base, we always get these great supportive comments and how can we help you and everything like that. And this morning, from one of our friends from Seattle, Washington, and his name is Edgar Reyes. Edgar is special to us in the event that he actually got me connected to go down into the Rotary to do a presentation in the Rotary, which ended up leading into my nomination to be accepted in the Rotary Club of Lipa South down here in Lipa. He thought enough about us here after watching all the vlogs that he thought, maybe we would be a good fit, since we try to help communities with our contribution with the local community here and doing fundraisers and things like that. But anyway, Edgar said this morning, he said to me that he was so concerned that our generator broke, that we might possibly go without electricity. And like, well, everybody's going to be without electricity. There's going to be a lot of people around here. And I thank him for being concerned. Now, I'm not so sure that Edgar is so concerned that we won't have electricity and we'll have a level of discomfort, or that he might not be receiving his daily dose of my PI Dream videos. Joke long, Edgar. But anyway, I thank you so much for your concern. And he gave us some contact information from one of our other Rotarians who has a big store in Lipa that sells generators and things like that. So we'll contact them this morning to see if maybe if he has something suitable that we can use in the event that we have a power outage during this next big event. Again, thank you so very much, Edgar. Okay, well, I'm going to try to get the battery charged and get some time-lapse video of what's going on in the backyard. Well, my battery is not yet charged for the time-lapse, and this is the perfect place to do a time-lapse, because an interesting development here, and you can see the construction of the bridge. The rebar is starting to be put in place, and This is a really important thing that I really wanted to capture. So I'm going to get just a little bit of this so you can see the beginning. As soon as the battery is charged up, we'll go more into detail with the time lapse on this portion of the construction. So we have the base here, and sort of like you see on the other side. Here, we'll go over to the other side. Not quite as noisy with the grill going. So this is what I asked for. I asked for a pedestal right here, which is going to be a walkway, a little bit wider of a walkway to go from the normal ground out here, because this is going to be sort of like a sidewalk that goes around. So you have walking space around the outside. And I didn't want to put the pad over here and the bridge starting at this point right here. I wanted you to be able to walk right here on this section, this whole area, just a pad, so you could stand here and look right in the water. Then at the edge of this pad is where I wanted the lift to go, just like they're doing. This is exactly how I asked them, or the way I saw my vision in my mind, how this should be. And it'll be the same on the other side. And then the bridge should go over the top, it should just barely go over the top of the coping on this side of the planter right here, which gives us ample space right here to jump. You can't dive unless you dive from like right this corner. You dive right at an angle, you'd be able to dive inside the pool right here. It's not a real big pool, but it's a very personal pool that we're going to have right here. And it won't be much higher than you see right here. It'll be a little bit higher. At least that's the way I'll explain to the foreman here, so that we don't get an obstructive use sitting there or anywhere around the yard of the really nice waterfall feature that's going to be over here. So let me go back to see where we are on the battery charge, so we can actually see step by step as this is being built in real time. Well, it is just about the end of lunchtime right here. I didn't get the battery charged for time lapse, but not a lot went on, so I can sort of capture what we did. And mainly it was a planning stage, and it's something that I want to discuss the topic while it's kind of quiet before it kind of gets crazy here with all the building crew. I want to point out some major decisions that we had to do with the bridge, and something I want to express with you. If you have a contractor, whether it be a house contractor or a swimming pool contractor, no matter what type of a contractor, and you ask for things to be done, a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, it's no problem. Even if they've never done it before, they might be highly skilled and they might know the process, but it's possibly a technique that they haven't done before. And sometimes it's really good to be around so you can look at the way they think it's supposed to be done, their concept of building something, and maybe you learn something from them, and then maybe they learn something from you. Case in point, let's go down inside the swimming pool and let's talk about the bridge. All right, so here I am inside the swimming pool. First time I've been inside, well, earlier today, talking with the foreman. This is the first time I've been in, and it has to do with designing the bridge supports and the bridge itself. Now the concept for us is to make sure that we have enough clearance to be able to get underneath the bridge without banging our head. And also to make sure that it has the platform that's approximately the same levelness as the coping on the edge. That's mainly for aesthetics. The original design, I kind of let the foreman go with it. You can see the bar, I don't know if you can see the rebar, it's attached to the base of this footer. So I got down there, I asked them to run a line of the water level. So here's the water level right here. Now when you finish doing all the base, the top and the bottom of the bridge section here, when they put the formwork, it ended up being that the bridge actually went into the water a little bit. The base of the bridge went into the water. And where I'm standing right now in the 5-foot section, and it would be about the same on both sides, is about 2 inches lower because they still have to do all of the concreting mix that goes up underneath the tile. So basically, if I were to be standing on it afterwards, my head would be like about this high right here, standing on the tile. And you see, it would interfere with the base of the bridge. We don't want to bang our head. So what I did, I discussed it, a different approach with the foreman. And what we came up with is we are going to raise. I don't know if you can see. I hope you can see way up here. Let me see if I can move the camera up a little bit. So anyway, the formwork is going to go up this way instead of from the direct bottom portion in the water of the footer. It's going to go above the footer, and the platform will be here approximately, but maybe not exactly at the same level as the coping, just a little bit above the coping. So what we can do, we can step on the coping as a normal step, like you would step going into a swimming pool, and then maybe take one more step up to a platform that gives you a little bit more elevation above the water level. Now what does that do for you? A couple of things. One of the things, it makes you have like a platform observation deck area, which is going to be this area right here. But what it also does is it raises the amount of the bridge so you don't bang your head. But one of the most important things is the arch changes. I will show you here. So now you can see the arch is a little flatter from going up with a little bit of height here. And it's not quite a high arch. It'll be very easy to navigate, to walk across the bridge, as opposed to the original concept, which was down low and it went up steeper. They're both matching at the same point, but this was a very steep grade over here. Now, you also have to realize, I know some people are going to say, oh, why is this going to be so high? Well, it's not going to be so high because the coping will end up being, somewhere up in this level right here, which will have a platform here and then a small step over going to the next one. So we'll be able to step on the coping, step on the platform, and then navigate across a very good grade of bridge here. So I think that was a good decision that we made. And now the next thing is the contractor and the team they'll be working on doing all the bars so that they all mirror this section right here, that one corner that I showed you. And then they'll be doing the formwork, and they'll be in preparation for pouring concrete. So maybe now you understand why it is so important, why I always say it's so important for you to be there when you have construction going on at your site. Because your concept of how something is supposed to be built and maybe the builder's concept of how something should be built may be similar, but not exactly the way you vision. So the only way to make sure that it's like you want it to be is to be there and go ahead and make suggestions with your builder, your contractor, your foreman, and then you will know for sure that the end result will be what you want. So we'll do a little update here. I totally forgot I had a special chipping tool that would make life easier. It was totally at the back of my mind. I watched all day long at this one of our workers here chipping, with the PPR pipe with the little nail, the concrete nail, and just chipping away. If you've been in the Philippines, you've seen this before. And then just now, after about 6 hours of watching him doing it, I'm like, oh, I forgot, I have this tool inside the basement. Let me get it out for them to use. Now, that tool will get done in about 20 minutes what you do in about 8 hours here with the little nail. So that was my bad. I wish I would have thought about that earlier, but they'll be able to get the plastic coat on that section much faster using that tool. Great tool to have inside your arsenal of tools. All right, well, it's still a little bit light out here. Let's go ahead and do a wrap up of what was done today. All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you got.
Thank you, Mom.
That's the owner of the construction company, the pool construction company. That is Poolmate Services. And Alvin is the name of the person that I put inside the description block. If you are in the need of a swimming pool, so far these guys are doing a great job. Again, everything is left until the end. We'll see. The proof is in the pudding, so to say, or the proof is going to be in the pool. P in the P. Proof in the pool. That's how it will end up. Well, let's go ahead and do our wrap up for today. Let's do a wrap up and close. And do our closing comments. So let's talk about what did get done today. So almost all the wall, remember this was all rough inside here. It only had one layer of the plaster coat. That is like almost all done. Well, it is all done. It is all done. They have the access holes here for the returns. We got one over there, one over there. I asked them about that. I said the tube is kind of deep inside there, but they pushed something inside there, and he said, no, that's the normal way. I don't know pool construction, so they do. They did the extension here so that we have plenty of room for our light. See you tomorrow. Salamat. Okay, and they came and they looked for our section here. They actually brought the light. They brought a light, and I was asking for LEDs. They brought a light that you can either do LED or the older the neon or whatever, the xeon or whatever it was for the older type. And I said I don't really like the older type. The LEDs are a little more they last a lot longer, they use less wattage, and you don't have to replace them as much as you do the old type. So the LEDs are what we want. So he said no problem, they'll swap out the bulb section inside there for the LED that goes to the 12-volt system that will be in our life support system over there. Let's talk about what they did here around the planter. You see the planter, it's all chipped away. Thank goodness that I had the chisel, the mechanical chipper, the mechanical chisel, and they were able to get all that, so it's ready for tomorrow, if the weather is okay, to start doing the first layer of plaster coat to finish up this planter area right here. So that's good to go. The bridge, look at the bridge. We have our structural support for our bridge. The concrete was poured on here up to the base of the platform, and the more that we measured it, it's going to be a very little step once we get all the coping done over to the platform over here, which is going to be almost perfect. I don't think I could have planned it much better than the meeting of the minds. Myself and Obing, who is the foreman, we sat down and we wrote all this out and we visualized and we measured, and I think this is going to be good. I really like the simple archway that we have. It's going to be a very comfortable walk across from one side of the pool to the other. They will have to come back, and what they did there, they'll pull the formwork off of there. Tomorrow I expect they'll connect it up to here, and they will do that as well. I think if tomorrow is a good day, we can talk a little bit about tile work, because the owner, Alvin, he came in and he made a commitment based on, he showed me some samples. I said I like these specific samples, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. That'll be an interesting topic of conversation. Let's see, anything else that I can think about that's out here? I know I'm missing something. We took the formwork off of this. Oh, I did not talk about this. This, remember, was going to look like a trunk of a tree, you know, with the root sections kind of sticking out at the bottom. Well, it's still going to be a tree, but I'm thinking we live in the Philippines. We don't want something that looks like a trunk of a maple tree, or, well, I guess it could look like a mahogany tree, but no, this is tropical. And what should it be? It should look just like a palm tree. And what they're going to do is they're going to simulate this type of a palm tree around this area. It'll be like a big fat palm tree that was cut off, and you'll see. They said they can do it. I don't know. They said they can do it though. They said you'll see the rings, like these rings here, and it'll be green, different sections. And then when they cut off this section here, it'll look like the inside of a palm tree. It'll look kind of like whitish yellow, and with like ear rings inside there for each year of growth. Now, I don't know if a palm has that, if it has the rings inside there. I know many trees, every tree that we have in the U.S. is like that. That's how old you could tell the tree is. I don't know how it works here inside the Philippines, but we're going to do something that looks like that. We'll see. I think that's about it for most of the stuff. Again, I'm probably missing something, but this is where we're going to stop here today. Now that's about it for today. What do you think? Is it starting to look like something?
Yes, I was surprised.
Are you getting a little bit excited?
Yeah,
I'm getting excited inside here. Yeah.
I like the height of the bridge,
Yeah.
and the way they created the what do you call that? The both sides.
The
footer.
The footer and the platform
footer,
support.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's going to come out really
Yeah.
nice. Well, I think we have a good plan, and I think we have a good pool crew that's actually implementing the plan that we designed here. I'm real happy with these guys so far. So that is it for the pool for today. You know we have a typhoon coming, and the typhoon is it could potentially be quite a bad typhoon. Now we've been watching the tracking. I haven't looked since 1 or 1:30 this afternoon at the tracking. Originally we were supposed to be right in the center of the tracking of this big massive typhoon, and then it slowly moved up 24 hours. It moved up probably, I'm going to say it probably moved maybe about 60 kilometers north of us where the center is. And if it continues doing that, which I don't know because you can't predict these things, but we're getting close enough. We're in that window right now. That whatever the predictions that the weather forecasters are doing, it's probably going to be very close between now and tomorrow. Tomorrow by 1 o'clock it'll be 24 hours out from probably when it's going to be hitting around on Sunday.
Sunday evening or Monday morning?
Sunday. So we're still maybe a couple of days out. I can feel the wind is picking up just a little bit now. This is probably a forecast of what's coming pretty soon. But anyway, thank you again to all of you who have been so concerned and sending really wonderful comments on the channel, on the comment section, as well as email, as well as Facebook and Messenger, and all these different ways of sending us things. It's all been very comforting to have you all in support of us. And again, if we are lucky enough to not be in the center of the path or get too much damage, please pray for the people up in the north, anybody that's affected by this. Anything else in closing for today? No, we're good? We don't have a generator. Oh, that's the last thing I want to talk about. We don't have a generator right now. So I am forecasting, I'm letting you know, for some reason, since we don't have a generator, if you do not see a video, because we've been putting out a video every day, these guys have been working every single day. If we do not put out a video one day, and you see we don't put out the video the second day, you know the only reason we're not putting out a video is because we have no electricity and we have no way to connect to the internet or run our cameras or charge our things around here. So we'll be in survival mode along with everybody else. So bear with us. I wish I had some type of backup batteries so that we could archive a lot of this stuff in the event that, because these guys don't really need electricity to do what they're doing. It's mixing concrete, lots of mixing concrete. So that's the reason if you don't see us for a few days. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it amusing and informative. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MyPI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, from right here in the Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you're interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.